Here is a problem of fear. I want to learn about it. First of all, I mustn't condemn it. I mustn't say it's terrible and run away from it.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you've been condemning it in one way or another.
I don't. I want to learn. When I want to learn about something, I look. There's no condemnation at all.
Well, we were going at this through a negative route
which is what I'm doing.
And fear is an obstacle.
Which I'm going to learn.
All right.
Therefore, I can't condemn it.
Well, it's not good. You're not advocating it.
No. I'm neither advocating or not. Here is a fact of fear. I want to learn about it. Moment I learn about something, I'm free of it. So learning matters.
Yeah.
What is implied in learning? What is implied in learning? First of all, to learn about something, there must be complete cessation of condemnation or justification.
All right. Yes, I can see that. If we're going to understand something, if we keep our emotions out of it and just try to dispassionately...
To learn. You're introducing words like dispassion. Huh? That's unnecessary. If I want to learn about that camera, I begin to look at it, undo it, go into it. There is not a question of dispassion or passion. I want to learn. So I want to learn about this question of fear.
Okay.
So to learn, there must be no condemnation, no justification of fear, and therefore no escape verbally from the fact of fear.
Right.
But the tendency is to deny it.
To deny the reality of
fear? The reality of fear. The reality that fear is causing all these things. To deny by saying, I must develop courage. So, please, we are going into this problem of fear because it's really a very important question. Whether human mind can ever be free of fear.
It certainly is.
Which means whether the mind is capable of looking at fear, not in abstraction, but actually at fear as it occurs.
Facing fear.
Facing fear.
Right. All right.
No.
We should do this, and I agree with you.
No,
we can't deny
to face it, no condemnation.
All right.
No justification.
Simply being
aware,
objective.
Aware of fear.
Acknowledging.
Not I don't acknowledge it. There is the camera there. I don't acknowledge it. It is there.
All right. I don't want to distract our line
that's
of
why,
thought with
please,
these words.
That's why one has to be awfully careful of words, because the word is not the thing. Therefore, I don't want to move away from this. So, to learn about fear, there must be no condemnation or justification.
All right.
That's a fact. Then the mind can look at fear. What is fear? There are every kind of fear. Fear of darkness, fear of the wife, fear of the husband, fear of war, fear of storm, fear of so many psychological fears. And you cannot possibly have the time to analyze all the fears. That would take the whole lifetime. By then you have not even understood any fear.
Right. So it's the phenomenon of fear itself rather than any specific...
Any particular fear.
Right. Now, what should we learn?
Wait, I'm going to show you, sir. Go slow. Now, to learn about something, you must be in complete contact with it. I want to look, sir, I want to learn about fear. Therefore, I must look at it. I must face it.
Yes.
Now, to face something implies a mind that does not want to solve the problem of fear.
To look at fear
Is not to solve the problem of fear.
Now,
I have
really
look, this is very important to understand. Because then, if I want to solve fear, I'm more concerned with the solution of fear than facing fear.
A moment ago, though, we were saying we should face.
I am facing it. But if I say I must solve it, I am beyond it already. I am not looking.
You say that if we're trying to solve the problem of fear, then we're not truly facing it. Is that right?
Quite right, sir. You see, to face fear, mind must be completely, must give its complete attention to fear. And if you give partial attention, which is say, well, I want to solve it and go beyond it, you're not giving complete attention.
I can see that if you have a split attention while you're not fully attentive.
So, in giving complete attention to the learning about fear, there are several problems involved in it. I must be brief because our time is limited. We generally consider fear as something outside us. So there is this question of the observer and the observed. The observer says, I am afraid, and he puts fear something away from me.
I'm not sure that that's true. When I feel afraid, I am afraid. I feel it's very much in here.
Yes, in here. But
the
when
cause may be it.
But when you observe it, it is different.
When I observe fear, then I tend to put it out.
Put it outside.
Well, again, that doesn't seem quite right, because it certainly,
So
even when I'm thinking of it.
At the moment of fear, there is neither the observer nor
That's
the
true.
observed.
That is very true.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. At the crisis, at the moment of actual fear, there is neither the observer. There is no observer.
It fills the horizon.
Now,
Yes.
the moment you begin to look at it, face it, there is this division.
Between the fearful self and the
Non-fearful
the
self.
bear who's going to eat me out there.
So
And
there it
yes,
is.
all right.
So in trying to learn about fear, there is this division between the observer and the observed. Now, is it possible to look at fear without the observer? Please, sir, this is really quite intricate question and complex question. That's going to go, one has to go into very deeply. As long as there is the observer who is going to learn about the fear, there is a division.
That's true. We're not in full contact with it. That's true.
Therefore, in that division is the conflict of trying to get rid of fear, justify fear. So, is it possible to look at fear without the observer? So that you are completely in contact with it all the time. We are using that word observing. Being aware of fear without choice, which means the choice implies the observer choosing whether I don't like this, I like this. Therefore, the observer is when the observer is absent, there is choiceless awareness of fear.
All right.
Right. Then what takes place? That's the whole question.
All right.
The observer creates the linguistic difference between himself and the thing observed. Language comes in there. Therefore, the word prevents being completely in contact with fear.
Yes,
Yeah.
words can be a screen.
Yes, that's all,
Screening us.
that's all what we are saying.
All right.
So the word mustn't interfere.
True. All right. We have to get beyond that.
Beyond the word. But is that possible to be beyond the word? Theoretically we say yes, but we are slave to words.
Far too much so, yes.
I mean, it's
true.
obvious, we are slave to words.
All right.
So the mind has to become aware of its own slavery to word, realizing that the word is never the thing.
Right.
So the mind is free of the word to look.